Hello friends, I am Dr. Shalini Maksane, Assistant Professor in Department of Biochemistry, SGS Medical College and KM Hospital, Mumbai. In this session, we will discuss about water-soluble vitamin B1, which is also known as thiamine. As this session is prepared according to competency-based medical education, the competency covered under this session is B6.5, and the specific learning objectives of this session are that the student should be able to describe thiamine with respect to its dietary sources, recommended dietary allowance, its biochemical functions, and deficiency manifestations. Students should also be able to identify underlying vitamin deficiency based on given set of clinical findings. Thiamine. It is known as vitamin B1. In the series of B complex water-soluble vitamins, this is the first vitamin. It is also known as anti-beriberi vitamin, anti-neurotic vitamin, because it can relieve neuritis and beriberi symptoms. The active form of vitamin B1 is called thiamine pyrophosphate, which is required for decarboxylation reactions during metabolism, which we will discuss in coming slides. Now, chemistry of vitamin B1. So here in this diagram you can see that there is one pyrimidine ring and one thiazole ring, which are attached with methylene bridge, and on pyrimidine ring there is substituted amino group, and to thiazole ring at carbon number 5 there is one alcohol side chain to which phosphate groups are attached. So without phosphate groups the structure is thiamine, and after adding two phosphate groups it is called thiamine pyrophosphate. The phosphate groups are attached to thiazole alcohol side chain with the help of enzyme thiamine pyrophosphotransferase. So the active form of thiamine is thiamine pyrophosphate, but the vitamin present in diet is in the form of thiamine. So it is absorbed in the form of thiamine, while thiamine pyrophosphate is a cellular component. Means thiamine pyrophosphate is produced in cell where it is utilized. In plasma, 90% of B1 is present in the form of thiamine. So understood, there are two forms, thiamine and thiamine pyrophosphate. Thiamine is a dietary form and it is not a coenzyme form, while thiamine pyrophosphate is a active coenzyme form, and this is produced from thiamine in cell. Now, dietary sources of vitamin B1. Although thiamine is present in all types of plants and animal tissues, but most enriched source of thiamine are unrefined cereal grains like rice, wheat and legumes. Thiamine is present in outermost aileron layer of cereals. Whole wheat flour and unpolished rice have better nutritive value than completely polished refined food, because polishing removes around 80% of thiamine from those cereals. The animal sources of vitamin B1 are liver, kidney, milk, etc. Nowadays, what happens that the thiamine is incorporated into flour and ready to eat breakfast, so that the availability of B1 has increased in diet. One more thing, that thiamine is we know that it is water soluble, so it is excreted into water during cooking process. So cooking also reduces the availability of thiamine. Now, recommended dietary allowance of thiamine. In adults, the daily requirement is around 1 to 1.5 milligrams per day. In children, the requirement is 0.7 to 1.2 milligrams per day, and the requirement increases in pregnancy and lactation to 2 milligrams per day. Now, functions of vitamin B1. So, you should remember only three main things about thiamine function. First, The coenzyme form which take part in metabolic reaction is thiamine pyrophosphate. First, thiamine is required in energy generating carbohydrate metabolism, where it is required in glycolysis and Krebs cycle, and it take part in decarboxylation reactions of glycolysis and Krebs cycle, which we will discuss in coming slide. Second important role of thiamine is it take part in formation or degradation of alpha ketols by transketolase enzyme in HMP shunt pathway of glucose metabolism. Third important function of thiamine is it is required for electrical stimulation of nerves, where thiamine pyrophosphate act as a phosphate donor for phosphorylation of nerve membrane sodium transport channel. This slide depicts the role of thiamine pyrophosphate cofactor in carbohydrate metabolism. As we know that glucose is converted into pyruvate in glycolysis pathway. Then pyruvate is converted into acetyl coenzyme A by pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. For this conversion of pyruvate to acetyl coenzyme A, our body requires vitamin B1 in the form of cofactor thiamine pyrophosphate. If there is deficiency of TPP, then there will be no conversion of pyruvate to acetyl coenzyme A, and pyruvate will be then converted into lactate, which will cause lactic acidosis. So this is the first role of thiamine. Now acetyl coenzyme A goes into TCA cycle, where complete oxidation of carbohydrate take place. In TCA cycle, for conversion of alpha ketoglutarate to succinate, our body require thiamine pyrophosphate. This is also a dehydrogenase complex, alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. This is the second function. Now another function, during glycolysis, glucose is converted into glucose 6-phosphate, which can also go into pentose phosphate pathway, where NADPH and ribose pentose sugars are produced. In pentose phosphate pathway, there is transketolase enzyme which is required for formation and degradation of ketols. Their transketolase enzyme required thiamine pyrophosphate. This pathway is important for nucleic acid synthesis and NADPH generation, which is required for biosynthetic reactions in our body. So, the thiamine pyrophosphate has central role in carbohydrate metabolism, which is a energy generating metabolism. As the intake of carbohydrate increases, the requirement for thiamine also increases. Now what happens in thiamine deficiency? As we have discussed in earlier slide that thiamine is important for energy generating carbohydrate metabolism, glucose metabolism. So when there is thiamine deficiency, there will be no TPP and there will be impaired glucose metabolism. So there will be decreased ATP production, because it is required, TPP is required for generation of ATP in TCA cycle. So when there is no energy, it will hamper the cellular functioning. Almost all cells are affected by thiamine deficiency, but mainly nervous system and cardiovascular system are affected. So what are the reason of neurological symptoms which appear in thiamine deficiency? So the acetyl coenzyme A have various roles. For in glycolysis, as we know that pyruvate is produced, which is converted into acetyl coenzyme A. Now acetyl coenzyme A, it is an intermediate of TCA cycle, which is required for ATP generation. If there is no thiamine, there will be no formation of acetyl coenzyme A, so there will be no ATP synthesis. As we know that glucose is essential for functioning of brain. Now acetyl coenzyme A is also required for formation of acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter, and it is also required for cholesterol formation, which form an insulating cover on nerve fiber for transmission of electrical impulses. So this is how nervous system is affected in thiamine deficiency. Now what biochemical changes take place in vitamin B1 deficiency. So in vitamin B1 deficiency there is no TPP, so there is impaired carbohydrate metabolism and there is accumulation of pyruvate in tissues because pyruvate is not converted into acetyl coenzyme A for energy generation. So first thing, there is increased level of pyruvate and the accumulation of pyruvate in tissues. Second thing, pyruvate is converted into lactic acid. So there is lactic acidosis, which is a life-threatening condition. Third thing is there is lack of acetyl coenzyme A. As we have discussed that acetyl coenzyme is required for neurotransmitter synthesis and myelin synthesis through cholesterol. So there is lack of acetyl coenzyme A and there is lack of acetylcholine and myelin sheet formation, which causes defective nerve system functioning. Now, what are the causes of thiamine deficiency? First cause is consumption of polished rice as a major component of diet. As we have discussed that while polishing, the aileron layer is removed, so thiamine is removed from the cereals. So there is decreased intake of thiamine. Second important cause is nutritionally deprived alcoholics. In alcoholic person, there is decreased nutrition intake, plus there is impaired absorption and impaired storage of thiamine in chronic alcoholic persons. Third important cause is that intake of raw fishes, ferns and some seafood because they contain thiaminase enzyme which degrade the thiamine, so there is decreased absorption of thiamine from the diet. Now, what are the deficiency manifestations of thiamine? So, severe thiamine deficiency can cause various types of beriberi. First is dry beriberi, second is wet beriberi, third is infantile beriberi, and fourth is Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, which occurs mainly in alcoholic persons, chronic alcoholics. Now, first type of thiamine deficiency is dry beriberi. In dry beriberi, there are neuromuscular manifestations are prevalent. So there can be peripheral neuritis, numbness, tingling sensations in lower legs and feet, ataxic means altered gait, muscle wasting and walking becomes difficult, mental confusion may be there, and these are all because of demyelination of sensory and motor nerves, and muscle wasting because of there is decreased energy generation in muscle tissue. So these are the manifestations in dry beriberi. So you should remember dry beriberi means neurological symptoms are there. Wet beriberi means cardiovascular symptoms may be there. So in some patient there may be prevalent neurological manifestations. In some patient there can be cardiovascular manifestations in thiamine deficiency. Second one is wet beriberi, where cardiovascular manifestations prevalent. There can be edema of legs, face, trunk and serous cavities like pericardial cavity, pleural cavity, peritoneal cavity. There can be tachycardia means slow heartbeat, palpitation, enlargement of heart because the heart muscles becomes weak due to decreased ATP generation, and death may occur due to heart failure. So these are the cardiovascular manifestations of wet beriberi. In this image you can see the edema of leg, and this is the normal heart, and in thiamine deficiency the size of heart increases. Third form of beriberi is infantile beriberi. As its name suggests, it occurs in infants which are born to mothers suffering from severe B1 deficiency. The symptoms appear in 2nd to 5th month of life, and symptoms appear suddenly and severely. And cardiovascular symptoms may be prevalent in infantile beriberi. There is restlessness and sleeplessness observed in child. There can be anorexia, edema due to cardiovascular problem, and aphonia means there is loss of voice. In starting, the child make lot of noise, crying, and later the child become aphonic. And there can be tachycardia means slow heartbeat. So in infantile beriberi, cardiovascular symptoms are prevalent. Fourth form of beriberi is called cerebral beriberi. It is also known as Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. It occurs mainly in chronic alcoholics because of impaired absorption of thiamine from the intestine. And as we know that chronic alcoholics are mostly nutritionally deprived because they take inadequate diet. And third, there is impaired storage of thiamine in alcoholic person. It affects mainly peripheral and central nervous system, where mammillary bodies and thalamus are mainly affected, and neuronal death occurs due to impaired cerebral energy metabolism. One important thing you should understand that Wernicke's disease and Korsakoff syndrome are two different conditions of thiamine deficiency. Wernicke's disease is an acute condition where Korsakoff syndrome is a chronic condition of thiamine deficiency. Wernicke's disease is a reversible condition, means if supplementation is given for thiamine, the condition can be reversed. The symptoms which appear in Wernicke's disease are main three symptoms: confusion, ataxia, and ophthalmoplegia. Confusion means there is disorientation in the person. Ataxia means there is altered gait, means way of walking is different, it is altered. And altered stance means way of standing. So there is altered way of walking and standing in the patient. And third important symptom which appear in Wernicke's disease is ophthalmoplegia, means there is paralysis of eye muscles which can cause nystagmus and anisocoria. Nystagmus means there is involuntary movements of eye in that patient, and anisocoria means there is altered size of pupils in the patient. So in Wernicke's disease there is confusion, ataxia, and ophthalmoplegia, but these conditions can be reversed if thiamine supplementation is given. While Korsakoff syndrome is a chronic condition, if Wernicke's disease is left untreated, it can develop into chronic condition, that is Korsakoff syndrome. And there is the damage to the nervous system and brain. It is non-reversible condition. And the symptoms which appear in Korsakoff syndrome are confabulation, means the patient makes stories. There is loss of memory in the patient. He or she forget about his or her past. So to fill those gaps in the memory, the person makes stories. And one more thing, that person is not aware, or that person don't realize that he or she is making the stories, or he is behaving like this. He is or she is not aware of that conditions. Second important symptom is apathy, means that person become careless. He or she doesn't bother about the what other person will think about him or her. So there is apathy. And third is dementia. There is loss of memory, reasoning, etc., because there is permanent damage to the brain tissue which has occurred. So these are the differences in Wernicke's disease and Korsakoff syndrome. You should remember that these two conditions are different. These images shows anisocoria and nystagmus. which appear in Wernicke's disease. So in first image you can see that there is difference in size of eye, that is called anisocoria. In one eye the size of pupil is large, and in second eye the size of pupil is small. So there is alteration in the size of pupil, that is called anisocoria. Second image shows nystagmus, means involuntary eye movements, which can be seen in this image, which occurs in Wernicke's disease. Both conditions collectively are called ophthalmoplegia. Now, which biochemical tests are used to detect thiamine deficiency? So, there are few tests. First one is erythrocyte transketolase activity, which is decreased in thiamine deficiency. As we know that transketolase enzyme is dependent on TPP for its functioning in HMP shunt pathway, which is more active in erythrocyte. So erythrocyte transketolase activity is decreased in thiamine deficiency. Second, urinary thiamine excretion is increased in thiamine deficiency if it is not related to dietary intake. And third one is plasma pyruvic acid and lactic acid level also increases, because we know that pyruvic acid is converted into acetyl coenzyme A via TPP dependent pyruvate dehydrogenase. In TPP deficiency, the pyruvate is converted into lactic acid. So lactic acid level will increase in thiamine deficiency. One important thing to remember is that while treatment of Wernicke's disease, the thiamine supplementation should be given before administering glucose to the patient. Why? Because if we will administer glucose first, then that glucose will be converted into lactic acid, because thiamine is still not available in the body to convert to metabolize glucose. So it will increase the lactic acid level in the body, and there will be increased reactive oxygen species generation because of deficiency of NADPH, because HMP shunt pathway is also not functional. So thiamine should be given first, then glucose should be given to treat Wernicke's encephalopathy. Thank you for watching the video.